What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. Oh, I had no lip gloss on or nothing. This is going to be your rant and review for Big Brother season 25. I think it is episode 22. So listen, last week, I got a little lip gloss on here. Last week we found out that there's going to be no HOH this weekend. This week, no veto. So there really is no gameplay. And we were just a little concerned. I know for myself, I was a little concerned for what that was going to look like, right? So we have this playback situation with Jared and Cameron. They came back into the house as zombies, and they have the opportunity to play to get back in the game. So let me explain the playback first, and then we'll talk about other things that went down. It's a 3-part activity. They're doing the same thing, but they're doing it in 3 rounds. So they're carrying these. It's the balance game where they have to carry skulls and eyeballs or whatever from one side. It's like a seesaw, and they have to balance it perfectly. If anything falls out, they have to start over. And basically, whoever has the most items in their huge shovel by the end of the 3 rounds wins the opportunity to either A, play for a chance to get back in the house, or basically bet that the other person will fail. So if Jared were to win the first part of it, he would be able to say, okay, I want to play the game and give me an opportunity to win back into the house, or I'm going to sit back and see if Cameron can win. And if Cameron fails, I get back in. If Cameron wins, obviously, then Jared loses. And that is a precarious situation to be in, because if I'm Cameron, I definitely have won more competitions than Jared. However, you don't know what this last game is. So you take a chance that Jared is going to screw it up, or that you can actually win it outright. I honestly think that I would be of the mindset that I want to be the master of my own destiny, and if I'm going to screw it up, I'm going to screw it up and not have to pray for somebody else to screw it up. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what we have going on. At the end of the episode, Cameron was in the lead, but y'all know how these things go. Anything could change, even though I already know who won, but I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. We talking about what we saw, okay? Now, Cameron and Jared both came back into the house, but they came back into the house with very different attitudes, right? Cameron came back in the house like, hey, I know I was a little bit of a jerk. I know I kind of did some crazy stuff, but look, it was all a game. I'm not mad at y'all. I don't want y'all to be mad at me. Who can I work with? I want to build. On top of trying to win my way back in this, I want to build some relationships, right? Let me see what Corey's got going on. Let me see if I can work something out with him. Maybe me and Jag can be cool. Not really sure. Don't know. Maybe Matt, trying to build some relationships. Now, Jared came back on the very opposite vibe. Jared is angry. He's emotional. He feels blindsided. He feels like the people who he thought had his back left him hanging. Now, my biggest fear with this whole thing was that Cirie would blow her game up once she thought Jared was gone. But the good news is they really didn't give Cirie time to blow her game up, because they literally came back in the house like that same night. I feel like if they had waited 24 hours, Cirie might have been like, screw all of y'all. Y'all put my son out the game. But then again, I don't know. I think she's smart enough to still keep that in her back pocket, right? Now, Jared came in, and first of all, he's angry at Matt. And I understand his anger at Matt. I absolutely understand, because he picked Matt to play in the in the veto, with the understanding that, Matt, if you win the veto, you're going to take me off the block. Now, Matt still on some level wants to build a relationship with Cirie. He likes Cirie. He really has a soft spot for Cirie, and Cirie has a soft spot for him. But at the end of the day, he was like, listen, that's what the house wanted. I kind of had to do what the house wanted, or you know how this goes. Then I'm going to be on the block next week. Then Jared is pissed off at Blue. To be honest, he sort of has a reason to be pissed off at Blue, because Blue let him know during the double eviction that she knew the house was gunning for him, and she didn't give him the heads up. And his thing is, listen, there may not have been anything that I could have done about it. I may not have been able to change anything, but it would have been nice to know that the target was on me. Maybe I could have played some things a little, as far as like I could have done some things in his mind. But we'll never know because Blue didn't tell him. So honestly, I kind of understand, again, where he's coming from. I ain't talking about Blue's point of view or whatever. Now, this whole Miss Felicia situation, not so much. Now, Miss Felicia, they caught you in an outright lie. You sat there, you said that you never went to Jared about a final two. Girl, you did. We have the footage, rolled, and they rolled that beautiful bean footage back. And you absolutely did go to Jared about a final two. However, your point was also valid when you said, look, y'all, lied to me last week. I thought y'all had my back. I thought y'all were voting for me. And the whole time I found out that y'all were actually working against me. And on top of y'all working against me, y'all got upset when the house tried to flip, or the house actually did flip, away from Izzy and to me, which is the whole reason for the whole blow up that y'all had in the have-not room right before the eviction. So yes, I had no allegiance to you. I had no reason to keep you in this house. I had no reason to vote for you because y'all didn't have my back last week. So why would you expect loyalty from me when y'all didn't have loyalty to me? Her point, I did understand. Listen, I understood her point with that. Now, she was a little passionate. And it got a little heated between her and Sari. It did. Got a little heated. I thought it was going to go left for a second. But honestly, Jared, you really don't have no reason to be mad at Miss Felicia. Like, game recognized game. Like, last week. Now, here's the other thing, too. Miss Felicia doesn't understand why it was never her. She doesn't understand why going to you was such a violation. Because she doesn't know the relationship between you and Sari. It doesn't matter. It's Big Brother, and people do this all the time. Sir, you had alliances with 5,000 people in the house. You had final twos with 3, 4, 5 people. And Sari, you can't even really be mad either because you had a final two with Izzy and with your damn son. So the fact that Miss Felicia, decided that she wanted to make another final two, like, let's be real. You really ain't got no right to be mad either. But it did make for a nice little conflict, okay? It made for a nice little conflict. Now, while all of this is going on, Cameron is playing Kumbaya. And he is quietly building relationships with Corey in America. Him and Jag had a nice little conversation where Jag was kind of like, helping him with some strategy for the game. Because the reality is nobody wants to see Jared come back in the house except for Sari. That's the sad thing. The sad thing is nobody wants to see Jared come back in that house except for Sari. If Jared wins his way back in the house, I honestly feel like unless him and Sari win HOH, he's back on the block. Unless he starts working on some relationships. He's back on the block. Cameron, I think, is doing a really good job of repairing some relationships. And he might stay around for a week or two. At least make it to jury. I feel like this next week is going to be jury. Whoever gets evicted this next week is going to be the first person in jury. That actually makes sense. A lot of people have been speculating about this free week. Some said it's because they had to put Luke out. Some said it's because they're trying to drag it out because of the whole strike and what have you. I think it's probably a little bit of both. Like, I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. This may have been part of the original plan. We know they didn't plan. The fact that they could have gotten a free week in the beginning when they first had to put Luke out, like last year what happened with Taylor, and they didn't. They actually went through with the eviction anyway, which I thought they weren't going to do the eviction. Tells me that this was probably something they had already planned. But I also think that they probably planned it to prolong the season, because remember, they started the season late because of the strike. So, anyway, what else happened? Did anything go down worth talking about, child? Child, not really. So we'll find out on Thursday night. Remember, there's no episode on Wednesday. We'll find out on Thursday night who we'll get to see the win back competition live. So we'll find out Thursday night who's actually back in the house, and I guess who's truly evicted. And again, I suspect that person is going to be the first person in jury. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.